Sara Bongiorni, A Year Without Made in China, one family's true life adventure in the global economy. Embark on an eye-opening journey as we dive into the summary of A Year Without Made in China by Sara Bongiorni. This true story documents the author's experiment to boycott Chinese goods for an entire year, showing the pervasive nature of Chinese products in the American market. The book sheds light on how the Made in China label affects domestic jobs, industries, and factories as well as everyday consumer choices. With their experiment not driven by politics or xenophobia, the Bongiorni family sets rules and discovers both the challenges and benefits of not buying Chinese products throughout the year.
The true cost of cheap goods. China's dominance in the consumer products market has resulted in a trade gap of nearly $202 billion with the US, leading to the loss of 2 million American jobs. Despite some consumers turning away from Chinese imports, the question remains, is it practical to function without electronics, toys, and other trinkets from China? One family decided to launch a 12-month boycott of Chinese goods to uncover the hidden price tag of the US consumer's comfortable, gadget-filled lifestyle. A family's economic experiment. After realizing that their home was full of Chinese-made goods, Sara Bongiorni and her family decided to boycott Chinese products starting from January 1st. This economic experiment was not based on politics or xenophobia, but rather aimed to understand the personal impact of globalization on their family and the American economy. China's dominance in manufacturing, including cell phones, DVD players, video games, TVs, clothing, shoes, and toys, made it challenging to avoid Chinese products. Nonetheless, the Bongiorni household managed to find alternative products made in America or other countries. The experiment that started with a handful of skeptical friends and relatives eventually caught the attention of media outlets, leading to a book and speaking engagements for Sara. The boycott had a considerable impact on the family's lifestyle, budget, and mindset, as it forced them to re-evaluate their consumption habits and consider the consequences of their purchases. Boycotting products made in China. A couple, Kevin and Sara, initiated a boycott on Chinese-made products that started after finding a Taiwanese tool with a superior feature. However, their self-satisfaction from boycotting Chinese products decreased when they learned that the idea originated from a Wall Street Journal story about Peggy Smedley. To define their boundaries, they developed the following rules: no political platforms, flexibility with unidentified parts, the gift loophole, and the child loophole. The 3 nail drivers from Lowe's and metal tool hooks from Home Depot were factors in their boycott. However, they were unable to resist buying Chinese-made products mainly in electronics, video games, iPods, and other gadgets. Finding non-Chinese footwear. Sara, a mother, struggles to find non-Chinese shoes for her son. She scours multiple stores and outlets, discovering that most of the world's shoes are made in China. Even high-end brands such as German and French shoes are made in China. After searching online and out of state, she finally finds Italian-made sneakers via mail order for $68. The search highlights the dominance of China in the global sneaker market and how difficult it can be to find non-Chinese footwear. The Boycott Experiment. Sara and Kevin had been married for 16 years and decided to launch a boycott experiment. Everything was going well until Sara caught Kevin sneaking in with merchandise from Home Depot. He had bought a hose from America, nozzle from Taiwan, and 59-cent paintbrushes for the kids from an unknown country. Sara realized that the brushes were the same as their old pre-boycott ones. Upon being challenged, Kevin confessed that he had accidentally bought them from China. After the incident, Sara started secretly scrutinizing Kevin's purchases. The unintended consequences of boycotting Chinese products. A decision to boycott Chinese products brought about some unexpected benefits but also created problems. Sara Bongiorni stopped buying from China when she realized how much of their household items were made in the country. They started shopping more mindfully, carefully considering every item they bought. They gained a decluttered home after donating their children's outgrown toys and clothes to charity. However, they couldn't replace them because many products for children come from China. While shopping for juvenile birthday gifts, they discovered a toy truck made with labor and parts from Switzerland, Denmark, and the US and Lego toys, which were Danish. But the boycott also created problems. When an old tabletop lamp broke, Sara faced a darkened home as most lamps are created in China. Shopping for items like toy cars, action figures, swords, and dolls became a boycott nightmare since most of them are from China. Despite these challenges, the Bongiornis continued their boycott to give other countries a chance to sell them things. Living under China's shade. The author, Sara, faces a challenge with her family's summer needs due to their boycott on Chinese-made products. After facing boycott mutiny, Sara resorts to a loophole to purchase an inflatable pool from China as a gift for her husband's birthday. This allows her to spend extra money on Oakley sunglasses, which come at a steep price in the US. Sara also finds creative solutions for ink refills and equipment replacement, as most options are dominated by China. Despite struggling with the boycott, Sara remarks on China's deep reach into her life. Boycotting made fun. Kevin's European business trip was cut short when the Bongiorni household found itself overrun with mice. Despite his love for animals, Kevin resorted to using American-made bait-and-kill mousetraps, as the humane traps were only available from China. Later, on a beach trip to California, Kevin was faced with the dilemma of wearing flip-flops made in China. Refusing to do so, he ended up with a pair of mismatched sandals, which he wore proudly and used as an opportunity to educate others about boycotting. This behavior embarrassed his wife, Sara, but also led to Kevin becoming a more willing boycott participant. He began checking the sources of merchandise and calling manufacturers to learn more about their products' origins. As a result, he even found and bought rare sunglasses from Taiwan for his son, Wes. The experiences prompted Kevin to suggest that boycotting can be made fun and that small actions can lead to significant impact. Holidays without China imports. Halloween and Christmas posed a challenge during the China import ban, but the Bongiorni family adapted by adopting new strategies. Since Halloween is known for its imports from China, the family coped by buying electric pumpkins and sewing homemade costumes, and during Christmas, they purchased some of the from China-only toys on the children's wish list. Instead, Sara spent $200 on a few small toys from Germany, while Kevin purchased toys from different countries, and office supplies made in America. With patience and creativity, the family discovered alternatives to Chinese imports and managed to enjoy their holidays. The lessons of mindful spending. Sara and Kevin Bongiorni practiced a year-long ban on most toys made in China as a way of teaching their children about mindful spending and careful consumption. The experiment was a success, and even Kevin became a supporter of the boycott. In 2006, they allowed their children to buy 3 toys each from China but considered making the ban permanent. Though they opted to end the experiment, they continue to read labels and choose practical alternatives to products from China. The Bongiorni's experiment offers insights on how to be more mindful about the products we consume and the impact our purchases have on the world.
After bearing witness to the Bongiorni family's 12-month boycott of Chinese goods, we can see how deeply the "Made in China" label is embedded in the American economy. The experiment provided valuable lessons on mindful spending and careful consumption, prompting the Bongiornis to continue reading labels and seeking alternatives to Chinese products even after the year was up. By doing so, they managed to declutter their lives and make more meaningful shopping choices. With an unanticipated transformation in their shopping habits, the Bongiorni story serves as an inspiration to become more conscious consumers in a rapidly expanding global economy.